So I'm going to show you how to cast on using, it's called the thumb technique. There are lots of different ways of casting on. This is probably one of the easiest. And what it requires is 2 lengths of yarn. You're going to need to use your tail at the same time as using the rest of your yarn, the bit that attaches to the ball. So what we're going to do is we need to know how long our tail is going to be, and the quickest way of doing that is to wrap it around our needle the same number of times as the number of stitches we're going to make. So I'm going to show you how to knit 10 stitches or cast on 10 stitches. So what I need to do is wrap this around my needle 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm just going to hold it a little bit further along, unwrap it, and that's the length of yarn that I'm going to need to do the thumb cast on method. What we now need to do is make our slip knot about here, so just above, so we keep the length of our tail. So I'm going to do what we did before. We're going to make that loop on our palm. We're going to bring this underneath. We're going to pull it through, and that's where our slip knot is going to sit on our needle like that. Now, to do this, what we need to do is we need to draw this yarn around our thumb. So what I'm doing is I'm going to hold the yarn in my ring and little finger. I'm going to bring it around my thumb, so it's crossing over at the front. So I'll do that again. We're going to hold it there, bring it around the front to the back of our thumb. So what that allows me to do is pop my needle, it gives me a little loop to pop my needle up into like that. And then what I can do is take the long end of my yarn, and all I'm going to do is wrap it around the tip of my needle, and then I can draw it up and through. Don't worry, I'm going to show you that again, but that's made the first cast on the first stitch onto my needle. So let's show you again. We're going to hold the tail with our ring and little finger, bring that yarn around our thumb, and we can use the tip of our needle, bring it underneath and sort of catch onto that loop there. And then what I want to do is bring the tail, the long end of my yarn attached to my ball, around the back. So it's going around the back of the tip of my needle, across the front, and I can just pull that loop over and draw it through. So the slip stitch is actually counting as one of our cast on stitches, so we've got 3 there. So let's do that again. We're going to hold that in our ring and little finger, bring it around our thumb, get that needle so we can go underneath the front one into that loop, bring our long end around the tip of our needle, and then we're going to draw it through that loop there. So you see we're using up this tail, which is why we needed it so long in the first instance, because it's making the beginning of our stitch, and we're working our way along that needle. So we'll do it again, ring a little finger to hold it tight, around the thumb, that point underneath into that space there, use the long end to bring it around the tip of our needle, and then we're going to pull that loop off over the top. And we've got 5 stitches so far. So we're going to do another 5. So ring a little finger around the thumb, that tip through that hole, that long tail is going to come around the tip of our needle, and then that loop is going to go over the end of the needle. And you'll see as we start to tighten those stitches up, it makes a nice neat row there. We've got 6, so let's do another couple around the thumb, in the hole, around the tip of the needle, draw it through. So we'll do another 3 around the thumb, in we go, around the tip of that needle, draw it through. And you'll see as you're pulling that tail, that's what's keeping those stitches nice and tight. You don't want it too tight that you can't knit with it eventually, but enough to keep moving. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do 2 more. We've just got enough of that tail there to work those last couple. So ring finger and little finger, around the thumb, under we go, around the tip, and pull it over. So do that last one, round we go, pull it round and take that loop off. And that's give us a nice, one of the really quick way of getting started. And this tail we can now leave, and when we want to get knitting we can just use that end there.